Alright, this is roleplay number 4, church. I'm Alvin, Kevin, Kave, and Derek. Kave is party 1, right? The associate pastor. Derek will be party 2,
the neighbor.
Yeah.
So it's a supply. I'm just gonna use my own name.
Yeah, so it's a supply name. We're all just gonna use our own regular names. Kevin and I will be meeting first this time around. And yeah. Okay. You wanna do an opening?
Alright, I'll do it. Alright, so I'm Kevin. This is Alvin. We'll be meeting. First and foremost, we are here to help
reach a conclusion.
Reach a resolution for your conflict. We're all adults here, so we will want to refrain from interruption. Any blows below the belt. We don't want any negative comments. You both get a chance to speak, and then as mediators, we'll jump in and do our part. I see you guys already have something to drink, and as far as anything else, let's try to have fun with this one.
Alright. As a mediator, our job here for you guys is just to facilitate the conversation. Everything, the conclusion is based on you guys. Resolution is based on you guys. You guys decide the outcome. We're not here to decide for you. We're not here to take anybody's side. We're just here to make sure everybody gets their fair share fair turn to talk, and no one gets interrupted. And that we keep all this disrespectful conduct and we make it up here.
Don't tell anybody about this.
Yeah, this is all completely confidential. It happens in this room, stays in this room. Alright, so I think Pastor Kave, would you like to start us off with your story?
Yes. I'm an associate pastor at the House of God. We have about 3,000 to 4,000 members in our congregations. Our usually members range from middle-aged professional adults. The property is located on 2 acres of Awful Town. The property holding the church is included on the main pasture. We have a church office, a sanctuary, a mosaic, numerous association meeting rooms, and a large number of rooms which are originally built in the style of a classroom. The church was built about many years ago. The property was since transformed into a wealthy residential area. Most of the church's neighbors are working professionals such as entrepreneurs, attorneys, doctors, and chief exclusive officers of large corporations and companies. Basically, what's been going on is we've had our church for about a good few years now, like I said, and we've gone about we have also a preschool that we've had there, and recently we got a daycare, and we have a lot of activities that go through our church, like weddings, hosting Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts meetings. We have creating organized activities such as church gatherings, barbecues, potlucks, social events, hosting community events related to religious holidays. We associate a lot of community-based organizations and individuals to lease the office space, hosting church as sponsored preschool, which is recently what we got, and offering personal and religious and mature counseling. So recently the rooms that are used for classrooms, we started using for a daycare, and it's actually non-Christian daycare. We approximately have 60 children between the ages of 2 months to 2.5 years old. And that was that. Let's see what else I want to say. Look at my notes. However, starting to notice that lately. My neighbors are complaining. They're coming. It's getting so out of hand where they're basically coming up to the kids and telling them to shut up. They're honking their horns from their house. They're doing drive-by honks, which is kind of dangerous. And it makes me very upset. And I've already talked to someone who's able to help us out with the situation, and I just don't know how far I want to go with this. I prefer talking to all the neighbors and try to see what we could do. We've been getting phone calls and I'm trying to make this work because I do care about this neighborhood and I want to make this work.
So far, you mentioned, or you're saying, so the church is in a pretty, like, well-kept area?
Yeah, we're on top of the mountain base. We're on the base.
Okay, and then, so it's in a nice area. You guys do a lot of venues there, a lot of events. It's like kind of like school. Also, you guys have other things that go on there.
Yes.
And so it's a lot of, as you say, activity that goes on.
I would say it's the heart of the community. We bring our community together.
Okay.
That's what we push for.
Okay, so you guys have a lot that goes on there.
Yeah, I have another question about like the location. From our briefing, from our very brief briefing, we understand that your church is located, since it's located at the base of the hill, it sort of creates this amphitheater effect. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Supposedly from our neighbors, what we're complaining about is the sound, and now they're complaining about it after we got basically this daycare afterwards. But we had a preschool there for years, so
So what do you think makes this daycare a little bit different than before?
I mean, we had preschool. Obviously, we have the younger children. Maybe I'm thinking maybe it's obviously. I mean, we had before it's preschool, which is probably around like I don't know, like 4 or 5 and stuff,
Okay.
or like 3 or 5. And then now the daycare is about 2 months to 2.5. So it's a lot younger. So it's certain children that probably need more attention. And when they need more attention, the only thing they do is they speak vocally. So
As far as the honks, you saying that's just because of the noise they're complaining about?
so far, that's what the one I haven't been informed with. Yes.
Okay.
In my notes, that's what I've been informed.
Do you have any more questions? Okay, cool. So what's your side of the story, Jay?
Well, my name's Derek Ash. Recently, my wife and I have moved into this neighborhood. Both my wife and I work many hours as attorneys. We're trying to pay our mortgage. This is a nice neighborhood, so mortgage isn't anything cheap. So we'll work a lot of hours to try to pay the bills. And then at the same time of us working all these hours, my wife also takes care of our child that we've recently had. She tries to take as many hours out of the day to take care of our child and be a good mother. So several months ago, we never had any issues with the church until just a couple months ago where they decided to open up a daycare. And I mean, ever since they've opened up this daycare, our life's been a living hell for me, my wife, and my daughter. It's just constant crying, constant noise, constant traffic. I mean, things have just become out of hand, and we can't live the life that we thought we could here just because of this church and this daycare. And I mean, we don't have a problem with the church. It's just that we don't know why this daycare has become so out of control. And I mean, I'm really starting to question if the kids are being abused there just because they're constantly crying and no one tends to the kids. I mean, no one tries to calm them down or help them out. They just let them cry for hours sometimes. I mean, these kids are just in this horrible environment, it sounds like, and I'm starting to get a little concerned. And what you said earlier, like the topography of the land creates a Greek amphitheater type situation where they're at the bottom of the hill, and everything that goes on at that daycare is amplified by at least 10 times. So the noise is just nonstop. I mean, we hear everything that goes on at that church: the crying, the screaming, the cars coming in and out, the honking, the parents. I mean, you hear everything. So it's just become too much for my wife and I and my daughter. And I mean, nothing's been getting better. I mean, everything seems to be getting worse and worse. And I think this stuff just has to stop. I mean, I've called the church on a few occasions. You know, and I told them I'm concerned about the crime that's going on over there, what's wrong with these kids, and every single time I've called, I've only been able to talk to the church secretary. I've never been able to talk to the pastor or anybody higher up in the church. So it's a little strange that I haven't been able to, you know, have my opportunity to talk to anybody but the secretary. And I know that I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people who live on our street have complained about the noise, the crying children, the traffic, and you know, it just doesn't work with you know the neighborhood we live in. We live in a nice neighborhood and we pay a lot of money to live here, and things aren't working out how we thought they would. So I mean, I heard the pastor mention that some of the parents have gone up to the fence and talked to the kids, and that is true. I mean, I've seen a couple of my neighbors go to the fence line, talk with some of the teachers, some of the parents of the kids who go to that daycare. And you know, I think I'm not the only one who's upset here. I'm just the one taking action on it. And I just kind of wonder, like, how can you let your kids go here to this daycare when all they do is cry all day? I mean, like, there's obviously something wrong here. And you know, I would want my kids to be raised by its parents, not somebody at some daycare. So I just want to try to find a resolution to this. I'm considering filing a lawsuit. I am an attorney. I have some pull. I feel like I could put us in a good situation to win here. Like I said before, I pay a lot of money to live here. It's a great neighborhood. I love the neighborhood. It's just this has gotten out of hand. I do want to keep a good relationship with the church. I mean, I plan on living here for a long time. I don't want anything bad to happen. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like all the stress that's been created by this situation has almost led my wife and I to get some marriage counseling just because it's become too much on us, and everything's building up with work stress, and now this stress and raising a child. It's just one thing after the other. I'm just looking for something to happen where you know, resolution's found, just because I don't want to move. I have no intention of moving, but something needs to be done.
I like to just say that, by the way, can I speak?
Yeah.
I like to say that we do have counseling for marriage, and it's continuing.
Yeah, I understand, but I mean, it's just now it's a little. I hesitate to even go to you guys if we did, just because I mean, like, look at your daycare. You guys can't even take care of the kids. I mean,
see, like, before you moved here, I heard that there was no problems. We literally are all our neighborhoods, and everyone was fine. And all of a sudden you come in, and now you and your lawyer situation, you're thinking you're bringing her here, and you're gonna just make everyone listen to you because you have like this magic attorney power over us. But we have God backing us up in this, and so we have.
Well, I mean, it's not that. I mean,
well.
I'm just saying if things aren't the things. I'm not trying to, like, you know, sue the church or put you guys in a bad situation. I mean, like, you know, this is a church we'd like to go to. We have a religious background. And we have nothing against you guys. It's just that, like, things have added up, and I'm not the only one complaining. I mean, all of our neighbors feel the same way. I mean, it's become like a circus there, man. And it's just,
Okay, so what is it with that? So you say you never had any complaints about, like, as far as
until you.
but you saying that it's you and other people.
oh yeah, like a lot of our neighbors, man. I mean, people along our street have gone up to the church and tried to figure out what's going on too. I mean, everyone. It's not just us. Everyone sees it.
Let's look at the time frame real quick. So, how long ago did you move in?
I'd say it's been pretty recent. I'd say maybe within the last 5 to 6 months. I mean, we've been here now. And,
okay, 5-6 months.
And yeah, and I'd say of those 5-6 months, they added this daycare maybe 4 months ago. So, you know, right after we got there, they put this daycare in. So we've been dealing with this for a while, and it's just nothing's gone better.
So Easy Right is at about 4 months in.
He's moved in.
Yeah, it was 4 months for the daycare. Like, how long has it been up for?
Daycare.
That particular daycare. Because I remember you mentioning that.
Daycare is really fairly recent. You know, on top of my head, I can't remember. Sorry.
I think I put a good 4 months ago, 5 months ago top, because I remember moving in and no more than 2 months, maybe a month and a half later, this daycare was built, and that's when we started. At first it was okay, we didn't see anything wrong with this. Like, it's good daycare, it's at a church, it's in a good location, like the kids will be safe. But I mean, that's really not the situation. It seems like, so I'm just a little concerned.
The only thing is, honestly, this daycare is actually really good for our community. It's been helping, funding, taking care of things. It has so much potential for our families, and your families, anyone want to bring their kids and have their kids there and go about their day.
I'm just kind of starting to question who you have working there, though. I mean, these kids are crying all day. I mean, like, what's going on behind those doors? Just things don't sound like they're going well over there.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
Derek, what do you want to happen?
well, I just feel like something's going on there. I
Do you
don't
feel
know.
like the noise?
The noise has become too much.
Do you want the noise to stop?
I mean, obviously I'm not gonna have the church shut down, but I would appreciate maybe if you hired some better employees to take care of these kids who are trained better at caring for children, just because whoever you have working there isn't doing a good job.
So you don't think that they should be crying as much as they are?
Well, yeah, I mean, eventually these kids have to stop crying. I mean, like, a babysitter's not gonna let a kid cry the whole time they're there. I mean, like, you gotta do something about it. And, I mean, I think overall, I want to stay in this neighborhood. I'm not trying to move or anything. I just want the noise to stop, just so we could have some peace and quiet. I mean, we pay a lot of money here, and I would appreciate it if we keep up the neighborhood.
If I could suggest something, I would think that if the neighborhood, if we were all more together, we would be able to take care of this together as a community. The only thing I'm coming across is it seems like the whole community is getting their pictures in the park and coming up to the church and yelling at us and our kids, and it's not helping the situation any better. And the kids not crying.
Question,
Telling them to shut up and honking is not helping kids be quiet.
Okay.
As adults, this is not something we do.
Just a question about the kids, like, are these kids from the community, from your neighbors, or are these, like, other kids from other
This is the kids from the neighborhoods. I mean, yeah, we have about 60 kids right now.
Okay.
60, yeah, I don't know. I just find it strange. That's all I gotta say about this situation. That, I mean, I'm not saying they're abusing the kids, but my wife and I have kind of come to the conclusion like maybe something's going on there, because I feel like these kids aren't being taken care of, and like through that, it's just making our lives a living hell. I mean, we can't just go throughout our day without having all this noise all day, so it's just too much.
So he's saying that you feel that there's some sort of abuse going on. Can you elaborate? What do you guys actually do in the daycare?
We definitely are always making sure that feeding them, taking care of them, you know, sing-alongs, everything. One of them cries, all of them cries. It's very difficult for our situation. We are obviously very limited right now with our funds, but at the same time, our church is there, but we've been there. We've had a preschool in there this whole time. I mean, if for anything, if you feel that you guys don't trust us, you guys are welcome to come. Doors are always open to everyone.
So you're saying there's no abusing going on?
There's no abusing.
There's just kids that just...
under the house of God.
I mean, I do trust.
Your wife is welcome to even try to look at maybe coming helping out if she can, and bringing the kid as well. It would be very helpful for our part and her part too, because they could be raised together in the community that they all belong in.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm not jumping to the conclusion that something bad's going on there. It's just we've had, you know, some things lead up to it, to now we're maybe starting to a little bit question it, but I know it is a church. I do trust you guys. It's just, and my wife really doesn't have the time, and I don't have the time to come out and help and volunteer and stuff like that. I mean, we're just so busy with work, so it's just, I think something just needs to be figured out, or maybe you guys keep these kids quiet, or maybe lower your attendance rate so it's easier to control the kids. I don't know, something.
Do you think that if the community was more involved in trying to solve that issue, that would be a little better?
It would definitely be helpful, because the church right now is doing our best to do for the community. In return, our money is basically going to the community. The only thing I'm thinking in general is either something about, we'd probably look at more different staff members, maybe upgrading our staff members, or maybe even upgrading some type of idea of preventing the sound from echoing all the way down the hill.
I mean, it is hard, like with the amphitheater, how everything's built. You guys up here, we're up here. I mean, there's no way to really control that. But it's
Soundproof walls.
Possibly. I mean, I want you guys to know, like at the church, that all of our neighbors feel the same way. I mean, we hear everything that goes on there. So
True. I mean, if anything, that like I know record companies and they have the soundproof walls. This is something we could talk about. But right now, our funds are not able to fund these. I mean, we have neighbors that are very wealthy enough, but we're all trying to do what we could do to make this work. What we need to probably try to do, I would suggest in our part, because we are willing to work with the, you know, with our community, but I mean, we do have an attorney ready to go if we have to. I would prefer settling this than going to church. I mean, going to court.
You can sell in church too.
I think, I mean, like I said, I do wanna find a compromise here. I do wanna find a middle ground because I'm paying a lot to live here. I don't wanna I love the neighborhood. It's just, you know, this is our one issue. So I do wanna find something we can do to figure this out. I don't know what it'll be, but I know money's an issue for the church, and I understand that. But maybe we could try to raise some money and have something figured out. Because I'm willing to do whatever it takes to stay here. I don't want to move or anything.
I actually like that suggestion a lot.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So you think if like maybe since it is like such a community thing and so it's a tight knit community, right?
We could raise funds for maybe better, maybe either maybe relocate our daycare, or maybe find some way to soundproof stuff. If maybe the community wants to come together to figure out a plan that we could do this all together, I'm pretty sure we could do it with our awesome community that we have.
So Derek, would you be willing to, you will be willing for that?
I mean, it depends. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to you know, donate like, oh, here's $1,000.
Oh no, yeah, it'll be like a type of work in progress type of thing. And,
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, we can tell every
Until every minute like a parking meeting. It'll be a work in progress, but also be a start. You know, maybe you guys, maybe it'll be, you know, trying to formulate ideas of first come up with ideas and then, you know, start with the donations, I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think one thing the church can do if they're able to is get a bigger staff, keep more eyes on the children, and just maybe train these employees to be able to take care of these kids better. Because I don't know if they have a lot of experience taking care of children.
Okay.
Because I mean, these kids sound like they're having a horrible time. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, these kids are just constantly crying and screaming, and no one really does anything about it. So, I mean, I know that we can raise some money to maybe get like you said, soundproof walls or something like that. But we just kind of have to find a set number where I mean, I'd be willing to go anywhere up to like. If everyone maybe could donate at least like $50, you know, I think people would be willing to pay $50 in order to get this sound to go away. You know, like all of our neighbors combined, and all that money would really add up. And I know a lot of our neighbors are upset about this, so I think the money could add up pretty quickly because a lot of people want this issue to be solved. So I mean, is that something we could do?
Yeah.
So how about what do you feel about like the staff and all that?
I think
I mean, are you guys that low on funds where you can't hire more
maybe
people?
I mean, we're limited funds right now, so I mean, there's only so much, you know, only so much pennies and quarters I pull out of my empty pocket. You know.
You guys have volunteers at all, or is everybody?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume if it's a church, you guys would have maybe some like kid volunteers, like teenagers who like come in and do some like after school activity stuff, you know. Maybe you could like figure out something like pull some of these like 16-year-old kids up and be kind of like babysitters and have them learn and take care of these kids. I mean, maybe that's an idea too.
Yeah, I mean, if during the raising the funds, we could probably attempt to see if we come across any volunteers.
Get some child development kids from San Jose Students.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I know that.
San Jose State's not too far from our house. So.
I like it.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright, so I think as long as if we raise the money, if the neighbors are able to raise some money, put some money together, I mean, as long as you guys agree to put it towards solving this noise issue and not blow it on like, you know, new patio furniture for the church or something, then I think we can agree.
I think I need a Mercedes though.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna blow our
That's a joke too, by the way.
Alright. You can agree on that?
Yes.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kind of short. 4:25.
That was short.
Dude, that's not extended.
I was looking at the clock like,
I was trying
Keep
to
arguing.
extend it
I
so
don't know what to
much.
argue about it. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like,
In my head, I was like, keep arguing.
I'm trying to confuse. Like, okay, it says this is like, okay.
And I feel like it's kind of short. But
This is
that's
really-
the first time we ever had it like short like that. Like all of our other times are like 40 minutes, but this time.
Well, I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know if I should yell or be more frantic. I mean, I was upset at the idea that you guys are like flipping out at the kids and telling them to shut up, honking your horns. Like, what the hell? There's like, those are in quotes too. Yeah, like, there's oversensitive people. I should have probably pointed out the oversensitive. I forgot to highlight that. But honestly, like, people on the hill. I didn't say people on the hill too. I was gonna call you the people on the hill.
Yeah. People on the hill.
Damn, people on the hill. They're like hillbillies. They're like rich. They have money instead.
Rich hillbilly.
Yeah, I just figured like
Picked
you.
up dynasty, I mean.
I figured your paper kind of told you to take like a peaceful approach since you are a
It
pastor.
did.
Like, cause
I
like,
would
oh,
think
you
too.
can't like, oh, if you're a man of God and you're like freaking out in mediation, like yelling at me, like, kind of goes against what you live for. So I figured you're gonna try to be just like pretty peaceful and try to come to a conclusion pretty easily. So.
Oh, dude, I've seen some pastors like that.
I was gonna throw some like Satan things. Like, hey,
Oh,
I see the Satan.
Devil in you.
Devil in you. Look at it. It's bringing the devil and it's corrupting our whole community.
See those red horns on his head?
I see the devil in your eyes, my son. You need to get away from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't know if I should go that far.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think maybe for you guys, you'll have to.
No, I mean like honestly,
more to learn off of this.
I like this part right here. This was very good. As a mediate this case, please keep in mind your resources and finances are limited to the church. One of the pastor members is attorney who offers a service to fight or file a lawsuit for me. I did say it, but I didn't want to tell exactly. I didn't want to throw anyone down the bus and make you be ready to talk to someone else.
Yeah.
Well, he
So
doesn't
that's
need
why-
to talk to somebody else. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I'm saying. They would talk. They would have to talk to each other, wouldn't they?
Mhm.
But see, like, the thing is, like, I don't want to. I've gotten phone calls, and it's been squeezing. I'm willing to talk to the neighbors about their concerns. On, you suppose you can open exploring possible resources. So that's when you said the funds, I was like, dude, that's exactly what my character wants.
Yeah, because that's what it says here. Your financial resources are great.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both attorneys. I'm pretty sure we make some pretty good money.
Well, mine says unlimited. The house has limited funds, and the neighbors are being unreasonably themselves.
Yeah. And
So
then it makes it sound like, oh, we have a pretty high mortgage, so we live in a good neighborhood, and I'm assuming everyone who lives in this.
Super affluent.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone who lives in this neighborhood could afford to like cough up like a
Yeah,
couple bucks to try to find a way to like
I just
make
listed
some
up.
improvements on the
Yeah,
church.
I just listed off all these like fucking money makers.
Yeah. And I should have probably rolled with like, because they said the fallout of the stress created by this situation is taxing your marriage to the point where you're considering marital counseling. I was like, oh, Brad, that's
I wish I
pretty
had said something then. You know what, son? You should come visit.
Yeah. And then it says like you want to keep relations with the church in mind as you have no intention of doing anytime soon. So I don't know if I attend that church. I'm kind of assuming I do.
I was gonna ask you.
I don't
that.
think-
I don't
it
think
doesn't-
you
it
do.
doesn't-
I don't know. It says a lot of people in the neighborhood, I believe, don't. The people on your street do not actually attend my
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was a little confused. I didn't see like.
Lily Road.
I don't say anywhere. Like.
I'm sorry. I should have said something about Lily Road. I wish we said something about Lily
Yeah,
Road.
Lily Road. I saw that highlighted in
Did
mine
we
too.
say that?
No, I
Yeah, I did say it too. That's like one of those like key things. That's the main thing of that. But yeah, the other stuff on the list is really good. I really like this list a lot more. I mean, obviously our characters. I didn't feel like our characters wanted to fight. We didn't have like. We had. It seemed like both of our characters were more open to be peaceful.
Yeah.
I think the way you read your character, I just felt the same thing. So it's hard to obviously have a long mediation in this kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was really cool that we got that quick. Even you did.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a question you guys asked that helped out, but that makes it really good.
Right before you said that, I was asking Alvin if we could like suggest doing raising money, and then right when I was about to say
You said that.
yeah, I was saying
I
right.
just figured it out. We're all a bunch of like rich couples
Yeah.
up here, like young couples. I'm pretty sure. Like as long as we want this noise to go away, I'm pretty sure we could cough up some money to like make it stop. Like soundproof walls or like hire some more people or
Yeah.
kick some kids out. I don't know, because it got kind of weird when I was hearing this, like, oh, are the kids being abused because they won't stop crying and like no one does
See,
anything
I
about
said
it?
about mind abuse, and I have no clue about this abuse business.
Yeah, I was like, oh man,
I was
that's
like,
kind of
your
serious.
wife, I thought like, maybe your wife couldn't work at first. I was like,
Yeah.
Alexis, situation solved.
Yeah.
This is when the kid comes, you get
Got kind of yeah, it got kind of weird out there. I was like, what? Like abusing kids.
I honestly was gonna say something horrible against that too, and I was like, no, take this serious, take this serious.
Yeah. Alright.
That was fun.
Alright guys, done?
Yeah. On to the next one.